It's finally time for us to build our own slime farm. Hey guys, Deathdealer here, welcome back to another episode on the AutoCraft server. If you're curious, AutoCraft is a server where we automate everything you can do in vanilla Minecraft, along with having some fun along the way. I've left a link to the playlist, make sure you go and watch the entire thing, along with watching the other members of the server, and subscribe to the channel. So we need slime because we're going to be doing a hell of a lot of redstone projects in the near future. These will involve slime blocks for flying machines, sticky pistons, and all that stuff. Now there is several slime farms on the server already, and I can go and buy slime balls, but my problem is I don't have any diamonds to my name. Well, I've got a very small amount and I don't want to buy any. Well, I don't really want to spend them. So what we're going to do is we're going to build our own thing. Now this farm won't be super efficient. It'll produce about 18,000 slime balls per hour, providing I'm the only person online, which happens early in the day, so I can just do AFK sessions right there, and it won't be all that fast. And we're going to build it right here in the base. Now, if I just fly up, we've got this massive plains area. Well, it's not that big. We've got this plains area to work with, and I'm sure there's a couple of slime chunks. There's a slime chunk there and there. I know that much, but obviously that's within our starter area, so we can't build it here. So what I'm looking for is ideally I'm looking for a slime chunk that's maybe out this way somewhere. Now, how do I find slime chunks? Well, you can just go and dig a large area underground and wait for slimes to spawn, or alternatively, if you have the world seed, which I have, we can use an external tool. So, I am going to go and see what these slime chunk areas are like here, and we're going to pick out the best one. So based on my research, I have located 2 slime chunks. There isn't actually that many in this area, surprisingly. Most of them are clustered around that area, and there's some out along the coast there, but they weren't ideal. But yeah, where that spruce wood is, and that spruce wood is, those are 2 slime chunks now. Those are right on the border of me, and that area over there belongs to Equinox, including the roof forest. So what we're going to have to do is, let's bring up the chunk menu. So F3 and G, and that will show the chunk borders. Now as you can see, we're right up on the edge here. And yeah, I think this chunk right here will work. This one over here won't, because it interferes with this building. If this was moved over slightly, then it would work fine, but I'm not moving this now. We only just built this thing, and I don't want to move it. Also, I have actually been doing some mining off camera, and we are currently up to the first one of these. This is for stone, so I've got to gradually fill all this stuff up. Because yeah, that'll save in crafting later on. Now, what I'm planning on doing is, before we even start construction, I want to verify that these are indeed slime chunks. So, what we're going to do is we're going to build, or we're going to dig down and clear out an area, and we'll see if slimes spawn. Alright, so I've generated a brand new version of the AutoCraft world and came over to my base location. It looks so strange not having anything here. But yeah, this is a chunk right here where the slime farm is going to go. Now, the bounding box reloaded mod I use with fabric, the one I use for the wither skeleton farm stuff, it actually shows you where slime chunks are. So if we press B right now, these green boxes mark or indicate slime chunks. The light green ones, they just indicate the markings of biomes. So yeah, I can confirm this is in fact a slime chunk. For some reason I can't actually get them to spawn, which is quite annoying. But yeah, this thing is confirmed. So what we need to do is we need to dig straight down with this thing. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to be digging down the chunk, and then we're going to be coming, let's see, so we need to come 1, 2, 3 blocks out as well for the kill trenches. Alright, now I was planning on using TNT dupers for this, but I want the walls to be clean because we're going to be able to see all this stuff from the surface, so I don't want it to look all ragged and horrible. So what I'm thinking is we dig this out manually in the form of a third-person time-lapse. Alright, so we've excavated quite a lot of space. I cut off the time lapse a little bit earlier than I should have because I had to leave the game and I didn't feel the need to show the rest of it. So yeah, I've only came down a few blocks since the end of that thing. And we've got a lava lake. And it's not just any lava lake, so we just go to spectator mode real quick. Yeah, it's a big one. Right in the middle of where we need to excavate. So I have a potion of fire resistance. I've been holding onto this for like nearly since the beginning of the server, and I just haven't used it, so we're going to use it right now. And what we're going to do is basically dive in there with buckets. Now I have a shulker box up here full of iron. This is my beacon kit, and yeah, we're just going to craft a bunch of buckets and then use them to get rid of this lava. Iron is not really a problem, so it doesn't really matter if we drop all that lava or anything like that. But yeah, after we do that, that will clear out quite a lot of space for us, and now we've only got a little bit to go. And good sign as well, we've started having slime spawning whilst I've been excavating this thing, which is great. But yeah, let's go ahead and get that area cleared, and then we can start construction. So as you can see, we got to the bottom, we got through that lava lake. I used the bucket method, so I jumped in with the fire resistance potion, and that lasted for like 8 minutes, and then I filled it in manually using blocks, and that took a while. But yeah, this thing is ready to go, and if we just go down here, never mind the slime despawned, it was on the camera just a moment ago, but yeah, we are getting slime spawns here, which is perfect. Now, before we put in the spawning platforms, I want to handle the killing and item collection. For the main reason that as soon as we put in these platforms, we're going to start getting slimes spawning left and right. And what are they going to do? They're going to walk off into the area that I'm going to work, and they're going to try to kill me. I don't want that to happen, so let's handle the item collection system first. So what we'll do is the water paths around the outside, because we're doing a fairly primitive method, will have magma blocks below them, so that they'll constantly take damage. They'll be forced into corners where they'll then hit a lava blade, and then the items will be taken from there. So yeah, a pretty simple system. The only problem is in terms of efficiency. If we could delete this bedrock, which we technically can, but that's a lot of effort and I really don't want to go through that. We could make this more efficient by taking this low on the world, but we're not going to do that. So I need to come up a few blocks. So the, the platform, I don't actually have any blocks on, will be at Y6, and then the spawning platform will be 2 blocks above that to stop the slimes from walking back onto the spawning area. So yeah, I've got my work cut out for me, so let's begin. Alright, so I've dug a few tunnels, placed some blocks, and now we have an item collection system ready to go. So let's just take a little peek down, and there we have it, that's all there is. So why don't we go into spectator mode to take a closer look at this thing. Now I have this water chute coming up here, this water elevator that will send items up. But you may be wondering, how do we get the items from out there? So let's just pop on down. As you can see, we have some water streams coming, and in these corners where these slimes will be, well, they'll be aimed towards this area, as where we're doing item collection. So the items will flow directly into this corner where they'll hit the hopper, and then they'll fire through this redstone circuit and down the water streams. Now there will be a lot of slime balls coming through this thing, and lots of entities can cause lag. So the way I look at it is, one slime ball roughly has the same impact on the server's processor as a slime. And that's kind of genuinely accepted in the Minecraft community. So what we're doing is we're firing these slimes out of the dropper into a cobweb so that they can gather into item stacks rather than individual items. This way it won't have as much of an effect on server performance. And now since this is at maximum efficiency, it shouldn't really be much of an issue. So yeah, we send items down here, same system as over there, they merge and then they go up this water elevator. Up top we'll have a nice big item collection system, and yeah, it should look pretty good. Now the next steps is we're going to get in the rest of the spawning platforms. We need to put up lava right here where these signs are, because that's actually going to help kill the slimes a little bit faster. Get the rest of the spawn platforms in, and then we also need to light up the area, because if we don't light this area up, the rates of this farm are going to be a lot lower than they could be otherwise. So all the spawning platforms are in place. We're going to quickly hop into spectator mode, so I want to show you guys something. So if you're building a farm like this, I'd recommend using the chunk window thing, so F3 and G, and that will show the chunk borders. Now basically what I've done is I've built this up until it reaches the height of the second sub chunk. Any higher and, well, you're above Y40 and slimes won't spawn, which isn't exactly what I want. Oh, look at that. Let's get rid of that one. There you can see it's a slime there. Now obviously the problem with this farm is we don't have any way to attract them off the platforms faster, so this entirely relies on their pathfinding, which is annoying. So we may upgrade this in the future. But yeah, they do gradually make it off the platform and into the collection area. Now there is one more thing I'd like to do down here before we start lighting up caves. Now what we need to do is we need to collect a lot of string, and we're going to place it maybe around here, because what this will do is this will raise each of these platforms, like the spawning areas, and it will basically increase the chances of pack spawning attempts. So what we need to do is we need to go and get a large amount of string. Unfortunately for us, we have just a place for that. Alright, so we're over at the hostile mob farm we built earlier on in the season, and as you can tell, this thing is quite large. We really need to come over here and get a proper storage system in place, because we're manually emptying it and then storing it like this. If you're curious, let's go and take a look at the farm. Now we did build this earlier on in the season, so make sure you go and watch the series playlist so that you can see this thing in action. But yeah, this thing is huge. It was a huge undertaking to do. We kept on running out of resources, but yeah, it was worth it in the end, and this thing produces an insane amount of material. So yeah, let us go and get the string we need. I'm not sure exactly how much we need. Oh, and this is because I think Boss came and bought string, or it was someone else, but thanks for that. So what we need is, I'll take that much should do us, yeah. Anyways, let's go head on back over to the slime farm, get this string in place, and then we can see if this has an effect on the spawn rates. Alright, so the string is in place, and I have noticed an increase in spawns, but obviously what we need to keep in mind is this isn't an optimal setup right now, not until we light up all the caves and all that stuff, which is what we're going to be doing next. But first of all, we need to select the AFK platform, because that will determine what caves and what areas of the world we light up. So yeah, I'm thinking we shouldn't do it right above this, because that will affect the rates of the farm. So what we'll do is probably just come down here, because this is in this area is where the storage is going to be, and just straight above this is where the AFK platform will be. So we'll place a few blocks up there, a block to stand on and a block above to stop phantoms from spawning. We'll probably make like a little 3x3 platform or something like that, and then I can check and see what areas we need to light up, because we're going to need to do quite a bit. I haven't done any lighting in this area whatsoever. Yeah, so many slime balls. Hold on, look at this. I've got slime balls all over the place right now. But yeah, let's get to this, shall we? Alright, so I've spent a considerable amount of time spawn proofing the area. So we've got the AFK platform up here. Now I need to expand this thing. I need to put a top on it as well. And basically what I did was I used the bounding box plugin thing, not plugin thing, the client side mod, and it creates this sphere thing, and it tells me where mobs can spawn. So we went from, let's turn that off, we went from having 40,000 spawning spaces in this area to having only 7,000. So yeah, we need to light up some more. All of it's on the surface, but everything underground is all lit up. And as you can see down there, we're getting slimes spawning left and right, and there's probably more inside the farm, they just haven't moved off of the platforms yet. So yes, this project is quite successful. However, well, no one they're done. No one they're done. So what I want to do as well is I'd like to decorate the part of this that's close to the surface, because, you know, I want to kind of have it tied in to the overall theme of my base, along with a storage system, which we're going to be doing as well. So with that being said, let's collect some of this slime. It's constantly coming. I've had to start a new chest, and look at that, so much slime since we last recorded a clip. But yeah, what I need to do now is I need to go and convert a lot of concrete, or a lot of concrete powder into concrete, because we need a lot of it for this. I might actually run out of sand or gravel, possibly, who knows. But yeah, we'll see what our current supplies is like, and we'll stretch it out as much as we can. So after burning through my entire supply of sand and gravel, we have done a little bit of decorative work. Yeah, it's not much. It really isn't. But yeah, this is just to, make the top of this farm fit into the overall design of our base. In the future, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to replace these stone walls with white concrete. It'll probably be recessed just like these bits are as well. But we're not doing that right now because that will bankrupt me. But yeah, in that time, we've been getting a lot of slime coming through the system during construction. And if we just take a look in here, yeah, we have a lot of slime balls now, which is quite nice. So yeah, we've got that stuff done. Let's just craft that, just to keep our storage all nice. There we go. Now I want to handle the actual storage system itself. Now, rather than having a building on the surface, what I want to do is I want to have it kind of recessed into the ground. So I want to dig a smaller hole like so that will have a glass roof on it. Because, that'll look quite nice. And I'm going to put it right here where this water pool is. It'll be just as wide as this is. And I'm not sure about how long it'll be. And yeah, in terms of storage, I don't even know how many chests I want. I have no idea. I guess we'll see how that goes. But yeah, what I think I might do is let us go and check my supplies, because I've got a few stacks of concrete right here. So we've got, well, it's not much. We can re-dye concrete powder that we've already made, but we're not going to be doing that now. I keep my stuff up here, so I still have a decent amount of sand. Gravel is my main issue, so I think I might go into the shopping district and buy some more, because sand is fairly easy enough to come by. Right, so I went and bought some more gravel, considering the fact that we completely ran out. And yeah, I've put it to work almost immediately. So I've put a little border around the actual slime chunk itself, because what we had before is if we remove a few blocks, these white pieces of concrete are those walls right there, and you can see them from the surface. And I thought, well, that looks a bit silly, so let's come up with something to make it fit into the landscape. So we came up with this border. So we take a little fly over this way, it makes it fits a lot better. Let's also land in this tree. Yeah, it just kind of makes it fit into the landscape a lot better, and personally I like it. It gives it a little bit more detail, because this is actually quite a plain build, but we're doing it on a large scale, so that it's not so bad. So we continued our pattern round, and then we've also laid out the area where the storage room is going to be for the slime farm. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut down, or we're going to excavate down maybe 5 or 6 layers, put in a wall of chests, hoppers. We're going to put some glass on top of that as well to stop mobs from getting in, and then we need to work out a way to actually get in there, because I don't want to just drop in from the top, so we need to access maybe one of the sides of the thing. In fact, no, we can do it at both sides. And the best thing about it is it's odd. Like, it's an odd block coming out that way and it's even the other way, so that should work quite nicely. Alright, so after a bit of work and chilling in Discord with Splashes, who's currently online doing some stuff over at the shopping district, we have the storage system in place, and I must admit this project is looking quite nice. One thing we have to note though, I have no lighting down there whatsoever, so we do need to tackle that at some point, because I don't want to be standing in there and then have a creeper blow up. But yeah, why don't we, I think we should pop into spectator mode, because this will be easier. So we've got 2 drop chutes, one here, well it's a drop chute there, and then a water elevator up here. Now, we used to have an item elevator here that shoot them straight out onto the surface. What I've done now is I've routed them down and through this hopper line, and then into this storage system right here, which is fairly nice. And as it stands right now, we have a lot of slime balls. Like, that's 9, 18, 19 stacks of slime blocks right there. That is an incredible amount of slime blocks, and it's nowhere near enough for the projects I have planned. Just look at it this way. This slime farm right behind me, the slime farm that we built today, is a beginner slime farm. I can upgrade this thing and make it much faster, which we will be doing later on when we need more slime coming in. But yeah, compared to what we're going to be doing later on this season, this thing is nothing. So make sure you stick around by subscribing and hitting the bell icon, because I have a lot of big things planned for this server. But yeah, I'm really happy with what we've got done today. Like, this stuff is just amazing. We've got this thing in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up there and put a second layer of glass because I need to get that done so that I can AFK without having phantoms bother me. And I'm going to do some AFKing and seeing how much slime blocks we can get. I'll have to periodically come and craft some more. Also, those chests and things, yeah, I just pushed them all into these ones at the end here. But yeah, that's a really fun project and I hope to do more very soon. I'd like to thank you all for watching this episode of the AutoCraft so far. Make sure you go and watch everyone else on the server. On the left hand screen right now, there are 2 videos, one that YouTube wants you to watch and one that I think you should watch. Make sure you go and watch them and remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hopefully you will enjoy the videos.